This is Smiles TV. Welcome to Smiles Television Talk Show. I'm your host, Stephanie Anthony Miles, and thank you for tuning in again. We have a unique broadcast today. Today, God has given me the opportunity to go behind the scenes a little bit more. Don't you remember Dr. Desarie Holmes? Well, she's back, and she has some wonderful guests, and we'll be talking about a unique school. Dr. Desarie Holmes has her own broadcast called What's on Your Mind with Dr. Des. As a matter of fact, some of you may be interested in doing some television production, and Smiles Television Talk Show is just so willing and open to help. Remember, Jesus Christ was born of a virgin. He was crucified and buried, and he rose on the third day. Confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord. Believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, and thou shalt be saved. Stay tuned for more Smiles.
Are you looking for an insured and bonded residential or commercial contractor? On Time Contracting, owned by Ali McDowell, is just a phone call away. On Time Contracting operates with the utmost integrity and quantities to complete your project right on time. Residential or commercial, exterior or interior, roofing, siding, flooring, you name it. If you want your project completed for the price quoted and at the time quoted, contact On Time Contracting. Good, quality, professional work guaranteed to be completed on time. Call 618-567-3591. No project is too large or too small. On Time Contracting. Call On Time Contracting today. Dr. Desarie Holmes, the Smiles TV resident psychologist, is back. The segment of What's on Your Mind with Dr. Des brings several guests to the platform in an effort to dispel mental health myths and stigmas. Dr. Des' wealthy knowledge includes serving as the former behavioral health director at Touche Regional Hospital, clinical psychologist, community activist, educator, trainer, entrepreneur, and most of all, Dr. Des emphasizes that she is a child of God. The Smiles TV production of What's on Your Mind with Dr. Des will help you enhance your entire being, inside and out.
Hello, welcome to What's on Your Mind with Dr. Des. We're going to have a great show today. I'm so excited because I have an amazing guest today, Dr. Sabrina Day.
Hello.
And she brought a student with her from Midwest Career Source Vocational School, and we're going to hear from you today. And what's so great about today's show is this is right here in the Metro East area. And this is a wonderful opportunity for everybody to hear. Everybody is not high school, college, job. Some people take the route of high school, life, come back, life again, come back. You know, and this is a great opportunity for people in this community to understand that you have a wonderful opportunity and it won't cost you anything but time. So let's go ahead and get in it. So we have guests from Midwest Career Source Vocational School located on 9100 Lebanon Road. That's it. In Belleville. And you've been operating since 2012?
2012.
Since 2012. And Dr. Ronald Carradine
He's our president.
is our president and established the school. And I just want to quote here because there's a couple of things that I just love. First of all, education is a journey, not a destination. So true. So cool. And the other thing is that the school was established for adult students for an evolving workplace and the opportunity to pursue career choices, to develop a variety of technical and workspace skills, to transition into employment, and to prepare for lifelong learning. So, Dr. Day, you are we're going to call it MCS for Midwest Career Source. You're an administrator. So tell us a little bit about your professional background and then what is your role at the school?
Yeah. So I am a registered nurse by trade, and I've been in healthcare for over 40 years. I have worked in the East St. Louis community for most of my career life. Started out as, of course, a bedside nurse and advanced throughout the executive role, having worked also at Touche, which was my last healthcare operations position in 2020 when I retired, Chief Operating Officer and Chief Nursing Officer. So I loved the community, loved the people that we serve there. So many people have need for healthcare. So that system is one of the providers of that. So I transitioned in 2020 from hospital administration to vocational education at Midwest Career Source, MCS. So I'm the administrator there at MCS. And as you mentioned, it started in 2012, and it has evolved to where it is now. And we're doing some amazing work there. So for MCS, we provide job training. So we have employer relationships. We have HSHS, St. Elizabeth's Hospital is one of our partners. We have Memorial Hospital, BJC, at both of their campuses. We also have Gateway Regional Medical Center in Granite City, which is core. We have them as one of our employer partners. And then we have nursing homes that are constantly calling us. And so we have partners now, which we have agreements with. Caseyville Nursing Home. We have Bria in Melville. We also have Carlisle, and they have 2 locations in Quincy, Illinois, as well as in Carlisle. So our partnerships are growing.
Yes, they
are. It's based upon the needs of the healthcare right now. The pandemic hit healthcare very hard. So we're helping them to rebuild their talent pipeline with CNAs. So we do provide job training for certified nursing assistants. We provide job training for psychiatric technicians. And these are under the apprenticeship model. So under the apprenticeship model, the employer hires and we're the training provider. So they come to us and then we job train them. So they're being paid to be in our class. The tuition is covered throughout various grant sources. So we have a relationship with St. Clair County Workforce Development. They also subsidize and pay for tuition, and there are other supportive services that they pay for. They pay for uniforms, they pay for books. All of that is covered underneath the grants. All an individual has to do is just qualify. Qualify for it. They have to be at least in their senior year in high school, 18 years of age and older. They, of course, have to pass a pre-entrance test. That pre-entrance test then gets them into an interview. So the employer interviews them and MCS interviews them. Based upon that joint interview, then they're enrolled in the program. So there's a couple different pathways to get into our program. So if they meet all of the requirements, then they go into the program. And then we have some that don't pass that entrance test. And we have tutors on our staff. The tutor then works with them for a number of sessions and helps them to be able to take the test again. So that's that remedial training. Then we have some individuals who just are having some traumatic event in their life, whatever that is. And it might be an emotional, might be violence in their home, whatever that is. And, they're just not ready to test, or they might have just those barriers to get in. And so we have on our team a psychologist, which just happens to be Dr. Desarie Holmes.
Stop!
And Dr. Desarie Holmes then has sessions with them to help them to be able to talk about those issues and get to the root causes and develop some action plans around there with that individual. And then to help them to be able to be job ready. So we work through all of those different categories. So they might get caught in one bucket, tutoring or psychologist, whatever that bucket is. Our job is to get them into employment. So we work very closely with our students. So it's not just getting into the program. We still work with them throughout the program. And then we follow them after job training to make them successful.
That's, and I hope everyone who's listening in our viewer audience really are understanding what Dr. Day is saying, because what she's saying, translation, it won't cost you anything but your time.
That's correct.
That's your investment.
That's correct.
And your return on that investment is a guaranteed position. Guaranteed right off the bat. You will get continued follow-up services.
Absolutely.
Because the school will continue to follow you for what, at least a year?
At least a year.
At least a year or more. And what does that mean? That means that if you may still be struggling in your current position, you can always come back to Midwest Career Source and you can let them know that I'm struggling. And guess what they're going to do? And you actually have some even newer services, which are coaching.
We do.
So now you have someone in place that's actually doing life skills coaching.
Absolutely.
And additional to that, more mentorship.
We do.
And like you said, and then you have tutors that will work with the students, and just an overall family feel to what you do that are really invested in your students.
Absolutely.
That you just can't get any better than that, because you have a very unique system in terms of your wraparound. Because what you're talking about is your wraparound.
Yes, wraparound.
So kind of briefly just walk us through what that looks like for your wraparound services.
So what I really want everybody to know is that we have a saying, we're more than what you see. We're not the traditional school educational environment. So with what we do, we're helping the individual to be supported. It's easy to get the job, but it's hard to keep the job.
That's right.
So many of our students, they get into issues with tardies, and then they have absenteeism, whatever those reasons are. So there's a multitude of issues that may be occurring as a result of those tardies and those absenteeisms. So what we do is we walk hand in hand with them. We're the employer. They're going to, of course, coach them through that. But we're going to get into the root causes of those issues and try to make sure we're putting some actionable items with that individual. So some of the common things that individuals are having issues with tardies is their babysitting issues. Or the absentee is related to babysitting issues. So they can't find childcare. Well, we have supportive services that can link them to those services to make sure that they avoid those traps so they don't get caught on those tardies and absenteeism. And then some of them will call in because, you know, they just had an experience at home, whatever that experience at home. They just had a loss of a loved one, and they don't know how to cope with those issues. So we reach out to them to help them to navigate around them. Yes, life is unfair sometimes. But how do you navigate around those? So our coach is going to help them, and then our psychologist is going to be right there walking with them, but we're trying to make sure that they stay employed. That's our goal with the full wraparound services.
That's a great segue into, so we have a student here that is with us and wanted to have a student because wanted to get a student perspective and wanted everyone to know that this is a very real, true, accredited school that is fully operational, that is fully recognized by the state of Illinois. And so we have another guest. Now, make sure I get this right. Naisha?
Yes, ma'am.
Naisha. Okay, Naisha Holmes. So I want to hear from you from a student perspective. You know, how did you come to the school briefly, and you graduated when, and what are you doing right now?
So I came to the school, it was around the end of March. My previous employer had closed. So at this point in time, I was already doing healthcare work, but I wasn't certified.
Okay.
So my goal was like, okay, I saved up money, I'm just go, you know, find a CNA class, because that's what I was looking to do. So I went on the internet and I'm like, okay, CNA class is near me. And the first one that popped up was Midwest Career Source. And I'm like, why haven't I never heard of this, for the simple fact it was literally like 6 minutes away from my house. I'm like, I've never seen a sign. I've never seen anything. So I applied and I was like, So I searched the website and I started to see like they were talking about like tuition, like it's paid for, you get your uniforms. And I'm like, this is too good to be
Right. It's too good to be true. Right.
But I'm still check it out.
Right.
I put in my information, and literally it was like the next day I heard from the school, and I was like, okay, this is realer than I thought. And I was like, I won't know until I get there. So I get there, and literally it was just like a calm. And I'm one, like, I am very strong in my faith. So I like to say that I was led there for the simple fact of when I got there, the criteria, like Dr. Day mentioned, you have to pass an entry exam. So with this entry exam, me being coming out of high school and, like you mentioned, going through life, come back to school, no, I'm going to go back and do life a bit more.
Right.
And then I'm coming to the Midwest Career Source with the attitude of, like, I've always passed my classes. You know, I have no problem with that. Like, I was in honors class in high school. Like, this is what I do. So I was kind of, like, arrogant in a sense when I was walking in. So when I did the entry exam, like, the first time, I failed it. And I was devastated. And the administrator or the secretary, she was speaking to me, and she spoke life into me. Because I was like, you know what, maybe I didn't hear God. Maybe I didn't. And she was like, I want you to come back because I really believe this is where you're supposed to be. Like, this is where you fit. And I'm like, okay. I wasn't hearing her, but then I was still like, maybe. So she was like, I want to introduce you to someone. And she was like, I want to introduce you to Dr. Day. Now, I didn't know that Dr. Day wasn't supposed to be at the building the day that I was there. She was, I don't know what Dr. Day, as she called it, a divine appointment.
Okay.
So I was on my way out, and she was on her way in. So the administrator was like, okay, here's Dr. Day, and we, were introduced. So she also started to speak life into the situation, like, you got this, you got this.
I'm going to jump in right there and stop you, because what is it that you would like for the audience to know, that one thing that you would like for them to know about your success? What is one thing that you could say that made you successful through the program?
I would say, if you fail the first time, and I didn't get to this part, but I failed the second time, the entry exam the second time. But I kept feeling me like, no, this is where I fit. I'm supposed to be here. I was led here. And don't give up. Like, literally, like, the tutors, like, I'm literally a product of almost every avenue of the program. Like, I work with the tutor. I work with the mentors. I've worked all over with everyone, the teachers. So it's like, don't give up. Like, if you put that time in, like, you're going to get your return of investment. You're
wonderful. And so, with that being said, we're getting ready to come to a close. Dr. Day, what's the one takeaway that you want our audience to know about Midwest Career Source?
With Midwest Career Source, I just want everybody to understand that we are unique in what we do. We're a small size school, and we take everybody as a personal mission. Our goal is to not leave anybody behind. So if they make contact with MCS, we're going to do our best to make them successful. As you said, education is a journey, not a destination. So we want everybody to go along the journey. And that journey might be at a different pace than mine, or as Naisha's pace, but it's going to be a pace. And if they're patient with themselves, we'll be patient with them.
Now, how can someone reach either you or the school? So I want you to look into the camera and face everybody that's out there watching, and let them know how they can either reach you directly and or the school itself.
So you can call our office at 618-213-6539. That's 618-213-6539. And go to our website, www.midwestcareersource.com. You will see a wealth of information that tells you about our school and how to apply. That's how you can reach us.
Here you are, folks. Another segment of What's on Your mind with Dr. Des, where we are transforming lives and changing minds. So here we go. And you can reach me at DesaRieHolmes smiles.tv@gmail.com. I look forward to the next time we meet. Take care, everybody.
What's on your mind with Dr. Des? Isn't she great? And weren't her guests just excellent? Remember, only what you do for Christ will last. And Jesus is the Lord. The Lord be magnified. Keep smiling. You look better when you smile. Sandifer and Associates, LLC, is located at 708 West Main Street in Belleville, Illinois. The sole proprietor is Attorney Jocelyn Sandifer. Attorney Sandifer and her associates, Attorney Marche Belk and Attorney Cherie Davis, are powerful, caring advocates for their clients. If you need legal assistance dealing with child support, family domestic law, federal and state criminal defense, personal injury, or more, contact Sandifer and Associates, located at 708 West Main Street in Belleville, Illinois. They service both Illinois and Missouri. The phone number is 618-489-1234.
The Smiles Television Talk Show wants to showcase your business, organization, church, and activities. If you have an interest in being a guest on Smiles Television Talk Show, or if you have any show ideas, contact Stephanie Anthony Miles at SmilesTV777@gmail.com. You may also call 618-741-3770. Tell your friends to subscribe to the Smiles YouTube channel. Let Smiles TV increase your reach. Remember, you look better with Smiles.